Hello everybody, it's Peter with an I, S-T-E-W-A-R-T, author of the book, Rental Car. Welcome to tutorial number 2. I'll give a synopsis. I want to say a quick word about the spoiler alert. Rental Car has elements of suspense. There's a few unexpected twists. You probably wouldn't want to read a synopsis of a mystery suspense novel before reading the actual book, but this is a special case. The mystery suspense twists and turns are part of the story aspect of Rental Car. What was more important to me when penning Rental Car were the messages and interpretations of modern society. I feel like the audience would get more out of the experience if they were to watch the tutorials first and read the book second. There's times when I read books about a book before reading a book. It's true, I sacrifice some of the surprise when things are revealed, but I feel like I have a richer understanding of what the author was trying to say. Now, the synopsis. The main character, Ron, is a writer who is dealing with the unfortunate circumstance of writer's block. As we get to know Ron, we flash back to his childhood. When he was a kid, he enjoyed drawing so much, he decided to create a graphic novel. Ron bullied his younger brother Sammy until Sammy took on the new role of being his audience and critic. Ron worked to make every drawing the best it could be for Sammy, the little critic. After completing his graphic novel, Ron became aware Sammy and his little friend were his only audience. Ron's artistic endeavors led him to write for a small newspaper. His career eventually morphed into writing books. He rediscovered the dilemma that he can weave his craft all he wants, but he can't hit a home run without an audience. As far as we know, in the story of Rental Car, his only motivation for employing the help of a young lady named Joanna was part of a professional endeavor to find an audience. Rental Car is part of a series, and in sequels we discover there's more to his motivations than mere book sales. Ron meets with a small house book publisher to pitch the idea of ghostwriting for Joanna, an unmarried teen mom. The goal is to sell the author more than the book. Joanne, or as she comes to be known, Tina Stone, will be promoted as the underdog who overcomes adversity to find success as an author. Ron believes her story of overcoming adversity may be inspiring to others. The publisher, Cynthia, sees potential for success in the idea, but at the same time she sees potential for exploitation. She likes the idea, but she doesn't like Ron for having it. Cynthia recalls her own pregnancy scare when she was a teenager, and believes the only difference between Tina Stone and herself is that she was lucky and Tina was unlucky. Cynthia works hard to promote Tina Stone, and works equally hard to cut Ron out of the picture. The book published in Tina Stone's name has some success. It's during the publicity tour Cynthia discovers the deep differences between herself and Tina Stone. The main thing is age. Cynthia is an adult with hefty financial obligations. The publishing world is Cynthia's career. If she fails, there's no safety net, and she has far to fall. Tina Stone is, in many ways, a child. Their destinies are linked, and when Tina Stone plays fast and loose with her own fledgling career, it puts Cynthia's reputation in jeopardy. Tragedy strikes when an obsessive fan, Carlton Libby, decides Tina Stone would fall in love with him if he were to launch a deadly attack on a shopping mall. Tina Stone haphazardly responds to his question at a public speech, She jokingly agrees shopping malls should be burned to the ground. So, attack a shopping mall he must. In the wake of this tragedy, Cynthia is the one to suffer a lawsuit. But she hopes to rebuild under the shining light of her new star, Tina Stone. But Tina Stone is nowhere to be found. At exactly the same time Tina Stone jumps ship, leaving Cynthia in a lurch, a powerful entertainment magnate named Max Silvers presents Cynthia and Ron with outrageous fortune. He offers to make one of Ron's books into a movie. Cynthia does for Ron what she did for Tina Stone, and that is, give him a nom de plume. Donovan Drake is Ron's new pseudonym. They enjoy their newfound success until Ron develops writer's block. Cynthia sends him to counselors who employ unorthodox forms of therapy. When Ron heads up to Washington State and hits the open road with a man Cynthia arranged for him to meet, Ron assumes it's a form of therapy. They depart, and Ron seems to disappear from the face of the earth. Cynthia discovers Tina Stone was poached by another agency who's currently doing business in Washington State. She fears Ron may have followed her there. Her fears are doubled when she learns Ron had just moved out of his apartment. She receives a cold reception when her search for Ron leads her to a Tina Stone rally. She's made to understand the mysterious entertainment magnate, Max Silvers, the one who made Ron's book into a movie, is part of the same business entity who poached Tina Stone. And the movie was meant to be compensation. Cynthia is happy to sever all ties with Tina Stone. But in their conversation, Cynthia unwittingly shares details that may be damaging to Tina Stone's reputation. Reputation is of key importance to what they have going on. As part of a lawsuit against a fuel company, Tina Stone curries support for the lawsuit on a grassroots level. Her story as an underdog strikes a chord with many who see the fuel company as a bully. She becomes the face of the whole endeavor. If the general public and key players within the legal system were to catch wind of her skullduggery, it could prove to be a disaster. In order to tie up loose ends, the power player, Max Silvers, assigns a private detective, Lacey, to find Donovan Drake, aka Ron, who is apparently somewhere in their backyard. Lacey views security footage of the train station. Days prior, Ron disembarked to the train, met up with an unknown person who accompanied him to the rental lot to pick up a car. Lacey consults with an online acquaintance, Liz, who works at the police department. She misinterprets the clues and assumes the person Ron met up with was Carlton Libby. As Lacey tracks his whereabouts, her investigation leads her to the car rental establishment. Using the GPS, they find the car he was slated to rent at a watershed stashed under a bridge. Meanwhile, Ron is traveling eastbound with a man whose identity is a mystery. He's not a counselor. The counselor Cynthia arranged for Ron to meet said he never showed up. We're led to believe it's the person seen on the train station surveillance footage. As Ron and the man who calls himself Gary have a conversation about the illusions of image, Ron, who thinks the other man is a counselor, the one Cynthia wanted him to meet up with, he believes the point of the conversation is to be therapeutic, to break him out of his writer's block. One of the employees at the car rental establishment admits to Lacey he did a switcheroo with the rental cars in order to lend Ron a more inexpensive car while charging his boss, Cynthia, for the higher-end car. Let's take a break. I like to keep these tutorials 10 minutes or less, and so for that reason, I split the synopsis into 2 parts. I'll finish the synopsis in tutorial number 3.